need to know this. Let's call it the Tea Party tax increase. Today, House Republicans, led by the Tea Party, chose not only to reject, but not even vote on a tax cut that was approved by 89 senators of both parties in the Senate, approved by the White House, and approved by the Speaker of the House, John Boehner himself, albeit before Eric Cantor poked him in the back with a metaphorical shiv. That means that 11 days from now, 160 million working Americans will see their taxes go up unless Republicans have a change of heart. Shortly after the vote, President Obama made an impromptu appearance at the daily White House briefing to blast the House Republicans.
We have more important things to worry about than politics right now. We have more important things to worry about than saving face or figuring out internal caucus politics. We have people who are counting on us to make their lives just a little bit easier, to build an economy where hard work pays off and responsibility is rewarded. And we owe it to them to come together right now and do the right thing. That's what the Senate did.
But by trying to save face, Speaker of the House John Boehner also called a press conference, backdropped by the very same Tea Party bozos who are now in charge of his party.
The next step is clear. I think President Obama needs to call on Senate Democrats to go back into session, move to go to conference, and to sit down and resolve this bill as quickly as possible. I told the Senate leaders, both Senator Reid and Senator McConnell, that there would be no negotiations with the House until such time as the Senate passed a bill. I meant what I said. And when they were getting ready to pass this and somebody passed on to me what they thought it would look like, I made it clear to them at that point that I was uncomfortable with where they were going. I expressed my displeasure in, once again, taking the convenient route and not doing the people's work.
That one-year extension that Boehner is talking about is nothing more than a gimmick. It will freeze pay for federal workers, force federal workers to contribute more to their pensions, means test unemployment benefits, and raise Medicare premiums on high-income earners. It was so foul that Republican Senate leader Mitch McConnell blocked a vote on it in the Senate out of fear that Republican senators would get nailed in the elections if they'd voted for it and it was used against them in political attack ads. It was dead on arrival, that one-year extension he's talking about. Yet it's the one thing that House Republicans are demanding the Senate consider today, even though Senator Harry Reid has already said he's not calling the Senate back into session. So that's where we stand right now. Either House Republicans kick the Tea Party to the curb and approve the Senate's payroll tax cut extension, or taxes go up on all working people in America. For more on this, I'm joined by Eric Byrne, a strategic communications consultant and partner at Bullfight Strategies. Eric, welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Tom.
Great to have you here with us. What the hell is going on at Capitol Hill?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I'm not sure if Cantor and Boehner are intent on being the Grinches that stole Christmas for half of America, but it just seems like politics that I can't figure out the game that they're playing. They've got.
It seems to me that Mitch McConnell would not have got, I mean, this was 89 votes in the Senate?
89 to 10, yeah.
Pardon my coffee. That Mitch McConnell wouldn't, the Republican leader in the Senate, would not have pulled together that kind of a vote in the Senate if he didn't think that John Boehner wanted this thing to happen. And he and John Boehner, I mean, they're the two senior Republicans.
Yes.
They got to be talking to each other. So Boehner had to have said to McConnell, sure, go ahead and do it. We'll be able to pass it. Which means that when it finally got passed and it was dropped in Boehner's lap, my guess is Eric Cantor, he turned around, he says, what's that poking me in the back? And he turned around and it was Eric Cantor with the shiv, you know?
Well, yeah, look, I mean, I've long said that, you know, John Boehner has become kind of like the speaker in name only. Eric Cantor really runs the House of Representatives. I don't think there's any real question about that. This isn't the first time that Boehner has been pulled back on his leash, you know, by Mr. Cantor. And we know from what Senator Schumer said on Saturday that they did have a deal, that Boehner, you know, came to the table, that McConnell had requested kind of a pre-bill conference with the House and Senate Republican leadership. They had an agreement,
so
and the House broke that agreement.
basically lying right
Yes.
now. He's lying, and anybody who doesn't realize he's lying assumes he's incompetent.
Well, yeah, exactly that. And look, the big fear in the House, as I understand it, is you look at those numbers in the Senate bill, 89 to 10. I can't remember a vote that was 89 to 10, such a bipartisan success story in this Congress.
Oh, that's like, you know, I mean, hey, is apple pie and mother a good thing, you know?
Yeah, and I think their real fear, and this is what's really strange, is that they didn't want to put this bill to a vote in the House because they knew that they'd lose, that they would that bill to do the 2-month, you know, extension of the payroll tax increase, would actually pass the House, and we would actually have, you know, or wouldn't have a tax increase for 160 million Americans on New Year's Day, which is going to be the House Republicans' gift to America, you know, which I just find shocking and politically really, really reckless.
Well, this is the really weird thing, is the Tea Partiers in the House are saying, no, we're not going to vote on this.
Yes.
And, I mean, they literally would not hold a vote. It's not that they voted against it.
No.
They said there won't even be a vote on it.
That's correct.
Because we're afraid that if we go back to our district and say to our voters, we voted to cut taxes on working people, we're going to get punished. And that says to me that it's not the working people that they're afraid of.
Oh, no.
It's the wealthy donors. Because if this had been a tax, if we'd have been talking about, you know, a two-month extension of the Bush tax cuts
Oh, my gosh.
for millionaires and billionaires, I mean, you know, they'd be lining up. You know?
Oh, of course, and you'd have Fox News and Rush Limbaugh and the entire Republican machine beating the drum as they always do. All the millionaires and billionaires, you know, protecting them and creating, you know, talking about trickle-down economics.
So at this point, right now, the Republican caucus, the Republicans in the House, the Republicans in the Senate are divided against each other.
Yes.
And some of the Republicans in the House are well, actually, they've kind of pulled together, but, you know.
Yeah.
And President Obama's in a position, you know, where he's like, you know, the Cheshire Cat licking his lips here. Yeah. And in fact, he's got this little clock going, you know.
No, I know. I saw that. It was, they've got the countdown clock on the White House website.
So
11 days and,
you know,
so many hours.
Will the Democrats once again blow this thing up?
God, I hope they don't. You know, I mean, because really, you know, Speaker Boehner is kind of like the cheese that stands alone right now, and he's even gone so far as to appoint, you know, members to a conference committee that's not going to happen. It's almost kind of like he's playing pretend.
And Nancy Pelosi is refusing to appoint members.
Well, yeah, because it's not going to happen. I mean, you know, these guys have one choice, or two. I mean, they can either get it together and vote for this 2-month extension to prevent a tax increase on half this country, or they're going to own it. And I think Boehner and Cantor are in a real bad corner. But I think it just really, really shows, again, and I've said this before on this program with you, this is what this party is about. It's not about actually relieving any sort of economic pressure on the middle class in this country. They're for protecting the tax cuts and the riches of the absolute richest people in this country, and they're for defeating Obama and defeating the Democratic Congress, and that's it.
Yeah, and it's not about leadership. And it's not about getting the people's business done.
No,
it's about doing what the cookbook.
And frankly, to hear Boehner even talk about, you know, and Cantor talk about, as they have been for the last 2 days, you know, Congress needs to do its job, and we can't be doing tax policy on the fly. I mean, are they kidding? Have they not seen their own actions over the last year? Do they not remember the debt ceiling crisis they put this entire country through for months? I mean, this is how these guys play ball, and it's dirty ball.
The one last possibility is that they will let this go to the end of the year. It'll look really, really bad, and then right after the first of the year, they'll convene Congress. They'll pass it or some variation of it very, very quickly through both the House and the Senate, and say, yeah, you know, we didn't raise your taxes, everything's fine. We're the heroes. You think that's possible?
I mean, it's possible, but I think the problem is that, you know, the Senate's not coming back until the 23rd of January, and the House has put in, you know, this kind of poison pill that we've talked about, where they are trying to force the administration to say up or down on the Keystone Pipeline, that they've just added into this, which has nothing to do with this, because they're just trying to trap the White House, and I think there's going to be a lot of finger pointing, but there's no, you know, if it doesn't happen, but there's no reason that the Democrats should not be able to capitalize on this. But let's just hope it doesn't come to that.
Let's hope so.
That they actually get a tax extension.
Well said. Eric, thank you very much for
being
with
Thom.
us. I appreciate it. I appreciate your insights.
Absolutely.